got saved by the grace of God, and I'm unashamed to say it. I'll never forget several years ago when I still lived in Missouri, I drove to the airport and I parked my car, and there was a shuttle bus that would pick me up, and then it'd take me to the airport about 10 minutes away, and I get on the shuttle bus and it's packed and there's people all over the place. And I looked at the driver, and the driver said, he said, I'm not really supposed to let you get on here because there's no more seats, but do you mind standing? I said, I'll stand. And so I'm standing there, and there's like 25 people in the shuttle bus, about a 10-minute drive to the airport. And he looks at me and says, so what are you doing? I said, I'm getting ready to fly to Texas. He goes, what are you doing? What are you doing there? I said, I'm preaching at a youth conference. Really? What are you going to preach to those teenagers? I said, well, this is what I'm preaching. I told him. He got the CB out there and says, hey, boss, we got a treat today. We got to preach on here. He's going to preach you right now. Tell him what you're going to preach. He just, right now? I mean, it's like 6 a.m. These people are already cranky because they're up early, and they're like just staring at me. And I'm standing up here in my bag. Hi. Good morning. Really? Yeah, really. Okay, so I preached. I told him what I was going to preach on. We pulled up to the airport, and some people walked out almost about to pass out. You know, some of them were like, that was good. You know, it's just kind of. I stayed on the bus. When they all got off the bus, I told the driver, I said, man, can you, I got to ask you something. Tell me something. I said, man, aren't you worried about getting fired? He goes, no, man, I've been driving a shuttle bus for 30 years. I've gone through 4 or 5 different bosses, and every time I get a new boss, I tell him, I want you to know I talk about Jesus unashamed. Well, technically I did, he didn't. But anyway, he said, I want you to know I talk about Jesus, and if that's a problem, let me know. And for 30 years, I've been talking about Jesus on the shuttle bus. I'm unashamed of him. I talk about him. I testify about him. I thought, my soul, we need more of that. I'm not saying you go to work and get fired from your job for doing that tomorrow, but I am saying this. We got to talk about Jesus again. Somebody's got to tell this world, hey, why you think that this king or that president's going to help us? There ain't nobody going to help us like Jesus can. Testify about him. Use that tongue to talk about him. Sing about him. Preachify about him. Testify about him. Share about him.